Oh, I see it. We just went
Yes, we are live. I thought I had like a whole Business Brain pre-show thing. I do. Like it's right there.
There you go. Look
I made it happen. Yeah.
Business Brain.
Oh.
Perfect.
Oh man, it's good to not feel like I'm in a fog anymore, dude. And thinking
Nuts.
back over the last month, like I let a lot of things fall through the cracks, kind of as we discussed. But
yeah, sure.
Just like it's hard to know in the moment exactly what you're missing. Like I know now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah. Like I knew I wasn't. I knew I wasn't up to snuff. But now I look back and it's like, oh wow, I was really under. Like I was worse than I thought. You know? Yeah,
I agree.
But
if you're not,
it's all fine.
Feeling up to it. Yep, that's good. Hey, if you're just joining the live stream, we are here for Business Brain. We're going to record a couple episodes. Our normal Wednesday episode, and then our famous and fabulous Friday AI segment, where we're going to jump into some AI topics, which are very, very popular these days.
It is very popular these days. Yes.
Yeah. I've got a new one that we're going to talk about. And
great, fun.
Yeah, it's going to be good. We have, even though we're live, do you think is it next week or is it later? No,
what do you want to know?
I'll bring this up. Oh, I was just thinking we had an interview scheduled for around the 11th. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Did we ever get confirmation that was going to confirm?
Let's see. That's the 4th.
Yeah, we're doing 4 episodes that day.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
No, I have not gotten confirmation. So what I will do is send I will resend the
assistant
thing. No, I'm not. The assistant's the one that has not yet answered. So I will, I am adding everyone to it.
Yeah, that's great. Awesome. That's great. It's hard running the podcast, folks. Getting people, even though this is our 670th episode that we're going to record today. It's amazing.
Yep. It is amazing. It's funny because we have, and this happens with Gig Gab too, the other show where I have guests, and Mac Geek Gab too, but we rarely have guests. But like we have people beating down our door to be on the show. And then there's the people that we want to have on the show. And by and large, those people are eager to be on the show as well.
Sure.
And then there's the people, and I'm not talking about like the whales out there that like, it would be a stretch and amazing to get them on the show. Although I'm not really convinced that there's anyone so amazing that it's going to make a difference, a long-term difference for the show. I've never seen that happen.
The difference in this kind of content is that getting them to follow us, right? You could listen to it and whatever, but getting that where you can have another interaction with them and another interaction.
It's the second interaction doesn't happen.
Yes.
It's because people listen to this show for you and me. And they're interested, if we bring a guest in, they're interested in what our fans are interested in, what we're interested in talking with that guest about, right? Mm-hmm. And once I learned that, like everything with Gig Gab changed, and I've certainly had some guests on there that are just monsters.
If they have good things to, interesting things to say and something to teach us, right?
Correct. But that's what it is. It's like I'm the one that matters most in those episodes. And it was a weird... That's good. It was a weird mental shift. Like, you're having somebody on that's, sold 25 million records or something. It's like, well, obviously they matter most. It's like, not here. No.
Yeah,
this is our house.
Yeah.
Not yet.
That's right.
And so, and I'm not talking about the big whales or whatever, but it's the people that are like, I think our listeners would love to hear from you. Like, you would have new fans because of this.
Yes.
Not we would have new fans because of you, right? You would have new fans because of this, and it would be an honor for you to be on the show. And I know I sound egotistical here, but there's just some things that are sort of facts, and some of these folks are just like they just hide, and it's like I'm trying to do this. Yes, for me, but mutually beneficial. For you. This would be good for both of us.
Yes, that's what we're looking at. Absolutely.
It's just funny. It
is.
Some people are funny.
Yeah.
But every one of those people that I do finally get to have on Gig Gab, the people that are hesitant or whatever, once they're on, they're like, I'm so glad I did this. It's like,
that's
great. Tell your friends.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, every one of them.
Did you watch the Happy Gilmore?
Happy
Gilmore movie. Yeah.
We set up the projection screen.
Yeah, Renee showed me that. Yeah,
yeah.
It was very nostalgic.
It was 30 minutes too long.
Yeah, my son said the same thing. He's like, "Oh, the first half was great."
Yeah,
and then, but it could have been a 90-minute show. Would have been.
It should have been
because there's no plot to it, right? It's just a light comedy, funny thing, and
I believe every movie should have a hard 90-minute stop, unless you can. And this would be like the director. Unless the director can argue otherwise and convince a team of 5 people to unanimously vote that it should be longer than 90 minutes. Because there's too many movies that go. Movies used to be.
There have been some bad 3-hour movies this year.
Would have been great 85-minute movies.
Yeah, bad too many.
Go back to the 80s, man. Those people knew how to edit. Those movies, 85 minutes, every single one of them, and they were all huge blockbusters. Yep.
Yeah, so, that's true.
That's my business advice for the movie industry.
You'll be able to make your own movies, with your AI.
Yeah, it's fair.
Drop your thing in anyway. So
and I'll just make that part of the prompt. Yeah, no more than 87 minutes.
That's it. 87 minutes. Okay. All right. So we have some good topics today. We're going to talk about booze on business trips. We're going to talk about text, communicating text versus verbally. I think there's some tips there, and and then some good stuff for Friday AI. I'm ready whenever you are.
All right, let's make the magic happen.
Let's do it.
Here we go. I think everything's where it needs to be, and if it's not, well, we'll find out the hard way. Here goes nothing. Business Brain, episode 670 for Wednesday, July 30th, World Snorkeling Day, 2025. Greetings, folks, and welcome to Business Brain, the show where you or we send in some ideas, or we find some ideas, we crunch them, we dissect them, we use them to tune our business brains individually and collectively so that we can each keep on living those charmed lives. Our sponsors for this episode include eversight.com/BB, where you can go and get your own in-house web team for just $3.99 a month, like Shannon did. And also shopify.com/businessbrain, where you can sign up for your $1 per month trial period and upgrade your business's selling today. We'll talk more about those in a little bit. For now, here in Durham, New Hampshire, and I swear I didn't have any alcohol before this episode, I'm Dave Hamilton.
And I'm Shannon Jean. I'm still out here in Northern California. I have an announcement. I want to make it crystal clear that last night Saturday night I cooked the best brisket of my life.
Oh, congratulations.
I've been cooking brisket for it has nothing to do with business, but
sure.
I've been cooking, briskets for maybe 6 years, something like that. Yeah. And and they've been pretty good. Either everybody's a good liar. I never know, because most often it's my family.
It's
and I'm
brisket
really
too.
Tell me. Really but this one, man, it goes to show that you never stop learning, because I used a completely different methodology to how I handled the meat. That's all. It wasn't how I cooked it. It was just the after prep and how I did it. And man, I just had some for lunch, so I'm all jacked up about it.
There you go.
It was really, really good. Anyway,
it's true that you never stop learning, and in fact, the more you do something, the more you learn how to do it.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I mean, you will, you'll get those plateaus where you're I feel like I can't learn anything more. And you just keep doing it. And then suddenly, you get a little unlock or a spark of inspiration, or you get the opportunity, whatever causes it, to look at it a different way. And you're like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah. Well, I always want to eat the worst piece of meat, right? Because I'm the cook. So I'm I want to eat, and I'm always questioning, it could, it's not super moist, or it doesn't have a great flavor profile or whatever, and this that thing. So, but this one, I was like, oh, nailed it.
That's great.
Yeah, that's cool.
Anyhow. When I'm having brisket, one of my favorite pairings with that is to have a nice beer with it too.
Of course.
I was recently on a business trip, I don't know, about 3 weeks ago or so, which is relevant for the timing because it was right while I was in the thick of dealing with what turns out to have been Lyme disease. That's what I was suffering from, and I'm on the right meds now. And I am so, you can probably hear it in my cadence. I can certainly notice it that
energy,
the energy is, I'm almost back to normal, I'll say. Which is awesome. Amazing. Yep. Thank goodness for modern medicine and all that stuff. And thank goodness for my doctors. But I was on a business trip. I went to the MacStock Conference and Expo out in Chicago, in the Chicago area. And it's a conference I go to almost every year. It's, people in the community of the Apple using community. Most of the people there are fans of my Mac Geek Gab podcast, and it's just a great time. Good community of people. Right. We did a live episode there.
Oh, that's cool.
It's always really, it's great. I posted something. There's a little Discord for the event. I posted something ahead of time that I was like, hey, look, I'm going to be there. I'm not contagious. But I'm, way under the weather. So if I'm around, please talk to me. But if you notice I'm not there every minute of it, it's because I'm in my hotel room napping. Right. So everybody knew, and everybody was very, very kind and helpful. And can we do anything for you? All those great things. Right. So wonderful. But one of the decisions that I made going into this was that I wasn't going to consume alcohol during this trip. I was, just getting started on meds.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
I wasn't sleeping. I was way under the weather, all those things. And the reason I share all of that is because no one questioned why I wasn't having alcohol, right? And that's very important because on business trips especially, or business, social environments in general, alcohol is so much a part of our culture that if you're choosing not to drink, people will notice it. And even if they're not being nosy, it will almost someone's going to ask, are you sure everything okay? Whatever. Right. And it often comes from a spot of, at worst, curiosity, and at best, a place of care. And so there was none of that, and there was no pressure or anything because everybody understood, we're just happy that Dave's here, whatever. And it was fascinating being, there on a business trip, not drinking alcohol throughout a dinner and an evening. I remained as lucid as I began the moment. I don't want to say fully lucid because I was still under the weather with everything. Right. Yeah. But it was really interesting. And I really started to think this is not a bad way to go through a business trip. There's a lot of benefit to being in an environment where everyone feels comfortable if they choose to have alcohol. My decision not to have it didn't make anyone feel awkward. Maybe that's the right way to say it, right?
Yeah,
people were comfortable having it around me. Yes, for sure. Yeah. And so I really started thinking maybe this might be something I do again, because it was really nice, being able to just think as quickly as I could. Again, not as quickly as I can today, but that's
next
a whole different thing.
You'll be on fire.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. And so I asked ChatGPT to come up with a list of 10 reasons that I could easily give people or any of us could easily give people as to why, you wouldn't be consuming alcohol that particular day at a business function or any kind of function that aren't related to alcohol use disorder or anything like that. And really, I gave it the instruction, something that won't lead to any further conversation. And there were a few of them that were really good. Early morning meeting. Okay, great. Easy.
There you go.
Right. Yeah. Okay, done. No problem. Jet lag.
That's another good one.
Another easy one. Sleep optimization. Just saying, I'm with traveling. I don't sleep well in hotel rooms anyway. And alcohol. I think it's pretty commonly known that alcohol is an easy way to not actually get quality sleep. And so, identifying that. You could say, and this might lead to some conversation dietary goals or doing a personal reset you might get some conversation. but or just too busy to feel crappy, but that starts sounding judgmental. And that's the kind of thing that I would want to avoid. But of these 10, there were like 4 that were like, yep, perfect. Great. They're about me. They're not about you. And it's all fine. So
that's good. I think that I like this concept too, because you certainly can get burnout. You're already running around. You can get dehydrated easily because you're just grinding, right? You're meetings.
Well, and traveling, like airplanes dehydrate you anyway.
Airplane, going out to dinner. However, I enjoy loosening up as well.
Absolutely.
But and I do believe there's a point of lubrication, let's call it.
Okay. Yep.
where things can start to flow very well between two people that are each relaxed and one way or another. It doesn't have to involve alcohol, because it just depends, right? You can get into a flow state. One of the things I do believe is that, this is kind of hyperbole, but you'll get the idea, is the statement that drunk words are sober thoughts.
Sure. Okay. I've heard you say that before, and like decades ago. Yes,
because it's true.
Yes,
I've heard people say things, and that's the common. So, if you're on one side of a drunk words are sober thoughts conversation, you get to gather data that you otherwise may not have gathered.
Yes.
And if it's a business conversation, it could be very beneficial.
Yes.
And because and I'm not saying it's like you're spying or unscrupulous, but someone's more comfortable telling you like, well, this is really the reason or the way it is. Or they let down their guard a bit, right?
They do. There are other ways that I have found to get people to let down their guard.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Doing all the interviews for GigGab has taught me a lot of those things.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
2 of them are, and these are going to sound like they work against each other, but when you put them together, they work amazingly well. One of them, and this is usually the second thing you do, is listening to people, like asking them questions and actually listening to their answers, right? But the other way is talking over them just a little bit at first. Because if you get somebody into a scenario, and you got to make sure you don't annoy them so much that they just walk away, right? But getting somebody into a scenario where they have something to say and are eager to say it, and yet can't quite get a word in edgewise, and then suddenly you just open the floodgates on them and like, hey, wait a minute, tell me about this thing for you, and then suddenly it flows. And maybe you start with let it flow and then hold them back a little bit and then let it flow more, right? Yeah.
And I think if you have the opportunity, shared experiences certainly help, especially traumatic ones. But I mean, also like events
shared crisis.
And shared crisis totally helps. But events and now like, with all the like non-alcoholic beers that are actually very good, you can easily like not even have to you could have a beer in your hand and be drinking a Heineken Zero or a Guinness Zero, whatever.
I will often get a seltzer with lime.
Yeah. Nobody has to know.
Nobody needs to know.
Yeah.
So,
But
there's that too. You don't even need to tell people you're not drinking alcohol. You just operate and don't think about it. Can I buy you a drink? No, you know what? I'm good. Thank you very much. Like that kind of thing. Yep.
Yeah, it's good. But I still do like like I'm going to a conference in October, small event, and I'm sure I'll be drinking with people and going and hanging out. And it's just, it can, that camaraderie, if that kind of stuff. So that's it's a fine line. But
it is.
It's balance. It's knowing when, I think it comes with age. When I was in my 20s going to trade shows, we were partying all night, getting home at 4 a.m. and going to man the booth at 8 o'clock, right? I could never do that anymore.
Oh, that's the thing. Yes. It turns out that this, it's nothing about you and me, Shannon. What it is it that the alcohol is more. It's changed. You see,
I'm going to remember that. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's not as and to that end, I've also noticed that computer monitors have gotten dimmer over the last decade, and I don't know why they've done that. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
The TVs are harder to hear. The TVs are harder to hear as well. Because that's why I watch with subtitles on anyway. But it's
interesting. Yeah.
Oh, we watch everything with subtitles now. It's great. Even the baseball game, whatever. It's so much better. It's just such an improvement that I don't know what it is psychologically. Not like I sit there and read, but I believe my brain knows that, when you didn't quite hear that, I just glanced down a little bit. And,
when you go to concerts, do you wear earplugs?
Yes.
Okay. Just check.
I wear those dubs or whatever that have those things.
Yeah.
I wear those.
Okay. Just making sure.
My ears are, again, it's another age thing where I've been.
Even if you protect your hearing as much as you can, there is a genetic component to this where you will, it will get worse.
And and I've shot a shotgun for 30 years and didn't wear any ear protection for probably 20 of those years because I was young and stupid. So you know how it goes.
Yeah, those hard transients are not so good for our hearing. Yeah, it turns out.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, that's great.
130 dB.
Yeah. So it's snap like that.
Yep.
But we'd love your take on it. Tell us how we've done shows on trade shows and conferences. There's a lot of strategy involved in making the most out of those events. And if you just go to businessbrain.show and search for conference or trade show, you'll find those episodes that we were talking about it. I think you'll really enjoy it.
Amazing. We do have other things to talk about. And the next thing is our two sponsors. Because starting a business is a lot like joining a rock band. At first, it's just you and a dream and maybe a triangle, right? But before long, you're juggling merch, marketing, shipping, and some guy named Carl asking about your refund policy. And that's where our sponsor, Shopify, steps in. It's like having a built-in business partner minus the late-night reheated pad thai and questionable advice. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S., from household names to brand new shops like yours and mine. You get a full suite of beautiful, ready-to-use templates, smart AI tools that can write product descriptions and boost your images, and built-in marketing to help you turn those what-ifs into heck yes. I've used Shopify to sell merch for some of my other shows, and it's smooth, reliable, and doesn't make me feel like I need a computer science degree to run a store. It's just right there. So, look, it's time. Turn your big business idea into ka-ching with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/businessbrain. Go to shopify.com/businessbrain. That's shopify.com/businessbrain. And our thanks to Shopify for sponsoring this episode. And look, if your business website isn't pulling its weight, it's time to stop babysitting pixels and start delegating to the pros. That's where our sponsor, Eversight, comes in. For just $399 a month, you get what feels like your own in-house web team. No $10,000 upfront fees, no long-term contracts, and no panicked, why is my site down, texts at midnight. Eversight builds and manages your site. They respond to phone, email, and even texts the same day. And here's the kicker. If disaster strikes, like a site hack or a meltdown, they jump in immediately. And in fact, Shannon, you had exactly that happen to you before you were even a customer, and they jumped in and helped, right?
Yeah, they did it. And it was over a weekend. I sent like an emergency, hey, I got this thing. My old site got hacked, and I knew there was not going to be anything they could do. But what I was surprised is they were like, hey, well, we can just get some redirects real quick, because I had a bunch of lead magnets and other landing pages that were all, a subdomain or a, linked from a redirect, and they went and put that stuff in place for me. It was amazing. And
amazing.
I just had some other stuff done. You email their team and it's like, yep, we'll follow up. And it just happens like in, 24 to 48 hours. It's great. I really
love that.
With them. Yeah,
love cool. that. You can get started today. Visit eversight.com/BB. And our thanks to Eversight for sponsoring this episode and for helping Shannon. But yeah,
it's terrific. It's terrific.
All right. We got a few minutes here. What's on your mind, my friend?
I want to talk about something that I think is overlooked often, and it's communication styles in written form versus, talking or FaceTime, they're face-to-face, this kind of stuff. And I think that...
WDYM, Shannon.
WDYM.
Yeah, what do you mean?
What do you mean? Oh, I like that. That's pretty good. What I mean is, Dave, is that you have to go kind of over the top in your written communications to get your point across, because there's not as much nuance when somebody else is reading either your blog post, your email, your text. Lots of commerce happening via text right now, where people are, come back and forth. Where I have a service provider that's communicating with me text, or anything like that. And I think it's important to understand that you have to use words, phrases, symbols, and maybe even emojis to connect with the people that you're talking to. And if you're stiff and it sounds stilted or just, I don't know, plain, and it's going to be taken. You're not in control of how it's, what's the word I'm looking for? How it's, makes other people feel, right? They're going to, their own biases, and it's like, how it is. You see people read a text and you're like, can you believe this? And you're like, well, I don't really think they meant.
Yeah, they could have meant it 16 different ways.
Yeah. So you want to be really clear. And I just think that it's important, because I communicate via, I would imagine everybody out that's listening to this show does, a massive amount of text based communication.
Yes.
And I have found that I am more successful getting my point across if I use things like, I use more exclamation points in stuff than I ever would normally. If we were having a conversation, I'm not going to be Dave,
right? Waving.
It's not going to happen.
Shannon, it's amazing. Yeah,
it's terrific. I'm just not going to do that. But in an email where I'm trying to show like, oh, okay, I'm interested in this, or I'm excited about this. Yeah. And maybe there's an emoji in there, or we've talked about if you have a newsletter, the first letter, let's say the first character that should be in the newsletter when you send it out should be an emoji, and it should be the same one every time. Like
I like that. Out. Yeah, the branding. Yeah.
Mine goes out. Mine's a pirate flag, right?
There you go.
That's just my whole thing.
Sure.
You should leave it. You should always use it, and I just think it's something that you should look at to have other people read your communications, like automated emails, right?
Yeah.
Order confirmations. Find good ones. Like I get some great ones that have a little humor in it, this kind of stuff. And then find bad ones that are dry and, don't really get the point across that you're a cool company to deal with, or that you care about your clients. So something to think about.
I like it.
Think about.
No, I agree. It's such a balance, because I am someone who, if left to my own devices, will over communicate, in that I will be too wordy, too lengthy with my text.
Sure.
And I've certainly learned to tighten that up. ChatGPT is excellent at helping me when I realize I've written 5 paragraphs that should be 5 sentences. It's like, all right, I feed that into ChatGPT, and then I'll massage what it gives me to make it sound like me again.
Yeah, same. Add your personality back.
Yeah, but it's like, it turns out you're right. I don't need quite that much verbosity here. So, but
I think it's the same as, like, I'm not a big fan of auto-populated signatures in emails. Because now you could have your information auto-populated if that's important to you.
Sure.
But up above, I think you should, you should say thanks, Shannon, or cheers, looking forward to whatever. Not this line and then your name and all this kind of stuff, because it's just impersonal. And I'm trying to make a personal connection over email and stuff.
I'm not. I agree with you. I do the same thing as you. I'm not sure the world sees it the same way.
Yeah.
I think that's one of those things where it usually doesn't matter. I don't want to say it doesn't matter everywhere, because if I'm writing to someone who thinks the way you do, then it turns out it just mattered a lot.
Yeah.
But I am finding that email communications, and it needs to be someone that I'm already in a dialogue with. But as soon as I'm in a dialogue with someone, I find that email communications often become much more like text conversations, where there's no I'm not, you're not, nobody's signing their name. There's no signature whatsoever. It's one line. It's great. And that's super efficient. I'm here for that.
I appreciate
for
that.
sure.
I appreciate it too. Yeah.
So,
I definitely appreciate it.
But it's interesting. There's a lot of nuance, man. Yeah.
There is. Yeah. How do you handle nuance and getting your point across when you have, especially if you have employees communicating, are you using, templates like from Text Expander stuff or Help Scout or different platforms? Feedback at businessbrain.show. Come talk to us.
Yeah, let us know. Feedback at businessbrain.show. Like he said, we love to hear from you. It makes a huge difference for us, even if it's just one line, but make it a lot of lines. We'd like to hear from you. We'll see you on Friday. Keep living that child life, huh? Great. We're out there.
Awesome. Great. Very good. If you're listening on the live stream, 266 of you, thank you for hanging out. We're in between shows. Dave's going to get that first show ready for post-production that I will do after. It's create some graphics, create some show notes and some different things. So he's going to do that now because we'd like to get this stuff done quick. And then we're going to record our Friday episode and talk about some AI topics that we both want to share. And yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah. All right. Maybe we'll talk about brisket again. You never know.
You never know. I'm happy to talk about brisket any day of the week. I'm a big fan of brisket. Yeah.
Me too. Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff.
It is.
You can comment on if you're watching this. Where people are from X and from primarily from X. So if you're there, you can comment on the show. Click on the live link there, and then you can chat. Tell us your brisket stories or your things you'd like to learn about. And
I could go for brisket, man. I'm realizing that since this Lyme disease thing started, I haven't had beef.
Oh,
well,
good
I mean,
brisket.
Beef is especially before we knew what was going on, I knew that I was having all kinds of like unexplained inflammation.
Yeah, sure.
And so I was like, all right, I'm going to stay away from anything that's going to add to this until I know exactly what's going on, Yeah. And it's been a while. So yeah,
that's great.
I might have to remedy that now.
You might have to. Might have to. Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah. That was the other easy reason to stay away from alcohol. Is like, okay, well, the last thing I need is more inflammation. If I can choose not to add it to the system, that's a good thing. So
yes, that's a good idea.
But
when you don't know what's going on,
I did find at one point, kind of once I was on the antibiotics for about 5 days. I was sitting down. My wife and I sat down to dinner. We were traveling, so I was at a restaurant or whatever, and she ordered a beer or a seltzer or something, and I just ordered seltzer with lime. And I got about 3 sips in, and I'm like, you know what? I feel like alcohol might actually, like, one beer might be good for me. And Lisa's like, well, do whatever you want. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm not, this is a you thing, not a me thing. I'm like, I know. I'm just talking out loud here. And so I did. And I think it really did help. Like,
Yeah, sometimes a nice cold beer, man, makes a world of difference.
It's
very refreshing.
Refreshing. I was having like these weird muscle tightness things, and it was like, all right, let's make those go away. And it did. It helped. It was,
That's cool.
I mean, I think if I had 6, it would have been bad. But
that would have been different. But that's right.
I think.
That's funny. Think you're ready?
Oh, did I put this in the wrong spot? I don't think I did. I think I put it in the right spot. I did.
Perfect.
Okay, great. I need to do one last nudge. And then
another 20 people in here. If you're just joining us now, we're getting ready to record our Friday episode of Business Brain. That'll be episode 671. This is our 11th year of doing this show, and it's had a few different iterations, but it's been week in and week out for 11 years. Our 11th season.
Yeah. Well, it is.
Crazy.
It's 11 years.
We're in our 11th years, yeah.
Amazing. All right. Are we ready to rock on this?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
I'm ready. I'm going to pull up the thing. Go ahead.
Nothing. Business Brain, episode 671 for Casual Fried AI, August 1st, Startup Day Across America 2025. Yeah. Greetings, folks, and welcome to Business Brain, the show where we take some ideas from you, from us, we crunch them, we dissect them, we share them, we use them to tune our business brains so that we can each keep on living those charmed lives. Our sponsors for this episode include eversight.com/BB, where you can get a gorgeous pro-managed website without the stress and your own in-house web team for just $3.99 a month, or it's like having your own in-house web team. And Shopify.com/businessbrain, where you can sign up for their $1 per month trial period and upgrade your selling today. We'll talk more about those in depth in a minute. For now, here in Durham, New Hampshire, I'm Dave Hamilton.
And I'm Shannon Jean. I'm in Northern California. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Hey, we have a nice quick tip from Jim, who wrote in. He says, you've mentioned telling ChatGPT to remember things. He says, I use different AIs, Gemini, ChatGPT, Perplexity. He says, this tip likely works for all of them. Go into your custom instructions for your given LLM, your given AI of choice, and add the following. Every answer should come with at least 3 links to source pages I can click on to read more.
Yeah,
Love
that's
that.
Great. Yeah, that's super smart.
I'll put that text in the show notes for everybody. But yeah,
because I get something and then I have to tell it to do it. Right. Hey, give me the source. So, yeah.
So why not just tell it to give you sources right out of the gate? And it's I've done it and it makes a huge difference. Yeah. And sometimes I don't need to click on the sources. I'm good with whatever information it gave me, and then it's okay. Like it's totally fine.
I also like the one you tell it, don't ever give me back a bunch of text that has emojis all in it. I don't want to see it. It's very we just talked about emojis before, and I do like them, but it's very sparingly, not every other line. No. So you have to tell it. Like,
I do like it when I tell it to, like, for a podcast episode or whatever, when I tell it, make me an Instagram post, it knows to use emojis there.
Oh, yeah.
Because Instagram's full of emojis. Like it's the right platform for that. And so, it's great.
That's pretty cool.
Speaking of things that we put in the show notes, I mentioned that today is Startup Day across America, and we always talk about whatever the day du jour is, and I always link whatever that is in the show notes. So if you hear us mention something and you're like, what the heck are they talking about? Go to the show notes at businessbrain.show, and there will be a link that explains more about what that day is. So you've got it there. Yeah.
Yep. Clever. Hey, I use a new AI platform this week that I thought I'd share with you. It's called Gamma.ai. And it's I
think it's at Gamma.app, right?
Yep, Gamma.app.
Okay.
And if I can pull up the homepage, I have my template that I did pull up, but I'm just curious about pulling up what it says on the front page.
Oh, yeah.
Gamma.app and say perfect. So basically, it's the way I use it. Yeah, so bring your ideas to life. They presentations, websites, social media, or documents, and you can create all kinds of stuff with it. The example I created that I used that I shared with you, Dave. That's if you're watching this, and you can watch it at YouTube. Just search for Business Brain.
Yeah,
I had a social media post that I talked about it's not mine, I stole it, of course, but I expanded on it, this whistle, workhorse, and whale concept.
We've talked about that here on the show.
Talked about it on the show. If you go to businessbrain.show and search for whistle, there's a whole episode on it, or maybe several. And all I did was dump my text into it, and this is the presentation that it created.
Oh, interesting.
And it brought a bunch of graphics, and it it renamed it. It's called Beyond Price, the Whistle, Workhorse, and Whale Strategy, a powerful pricing framework to escape the discount trap and build sustainable business growth. I did, that's their description. I thought it was kind of cool. And it talked about, the second section talks about the price war problem. Competing on price alone is a dangerous game for any business. Attracts bargain hunters with low loyalty.
This built you a PowerPoint presentation, essentially.
Yes. You could build a website with it.
Sure.
You can turn this into a PDF if you were sending it to someone.
Yep.
Could be a proposal. Could create it. So it's it just brings it all together graphically, and it fine tunes your content. And the nice thing is you can then go in and edit any of this. You can just click into it to make it yours again. Like, I don't like the way it says that, and I want to, I want to do this with it or something different.
Sure.
And I like it. I think it's pretty cool. I'm going to be using it to help with some stuff that I want to create visualizations for, and it's pretty cool. It's at gamma.app, and they'll do the same thing. You could take 5 pages of documents or something you wrote in Word, and it would create a website for you with all that content.
Right.
Create like a 1-page site that's just scrollable, which is, maybe for a landing page or a sales funnel website. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah. And I mean, you can put it into, presentation mode, and it just kind of, it turns your web browser into your,
that's pretty cool.
Your presentation. This is great, man.
Nice if you have somebody like on a Zoom call and you want to walk them through it or something like that, or click through it. That's awesome.
To me, this is where, and there's a lot of different, obviously, we talk about it literally every week, but there's a lot of different use cases for AI right now where it currently shines almost always, not always, but where you can really rely on it is with the summarization or the repackaging, the synthesizing of data, where that's where it's so good right now. There's other things that it's kind of good at and occasionally good at, and it's going to keep getting better, obviously. But right now, the whole, summarizing, synthesizing, repackaging of data, which is exactly what it's doing here. And it's expanding on it, right? You didn't give it this much content. You gave it some amount of it, and it distilled it down, knowing what works well as a presentation and all that. It's great.
What I find really helpful with all these AI, LLMs or apps like
platforms,
I may not have it fully flushed out in my head what I want to say, but I have this idea or this concept, or maybe I've got 5 sentences that I've started and I would say, hey, help me expand this.
Yes.
It's very helpful. And Gamma, they have a free level. This is always free, where you get some generic stuff. The plus level is $8 a month, so it's pretty inexpensive. And then they have a higher level for like teams and that kind of thing. But check it out. Gamma.app, GAMMA.app.
Yep. Perfect. Thanks for that. That's great. Yeah. I have an example of AI not just summarizing data and analyzing it for me, but then helping me to turn it around. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. The next thing that I want to do is talk about our 2 sponsors. Because starting a business is a lot like joining a rock band. At first, it's just you and a dream and maybe a triangle, right? But before long, you're juggling merch, marketing, shipping, and some guy named Carl asking about your refund policy. And that's where our sponsor, Shopify, steps in. It's like having a built-in business partner minus the late-night reheated pad thai and questionable advice. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S., from household names to brand new shops like yours and mine. You get a full suite of beautiful, ready-to-use templates, smart AI tools that can write product descriptions and boost your images, and built-in marketing to help you turn those what-ifs into heck yes. I've used Shopify to sell merch for some of my other shows, and it's smooth, reliable, and doesn't make me feel like I need a computer science degree to run a store. It's just right there. So look, it's time. Turn your big business idea into ka-ching with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/businessbrain. Go to shopify.com/businessbrain. That's shopify.com/businessbrain. And our thanks to Shopify for sponsoring this episode. And look, if your business website isn't pulling its weight, it's time to stop babysitting pixels and start delegating to the pros. That's where our sponsor, Eversight, comes in. For just $399 a month, you get what feels like your own in-house web team. No $10,000 upfront fees, no long-term contracts, and no panicked, why is my site down? Texts at midnight. Eversight builds and manages your site. They respond to phone, email, and even texts the same day. And here's the kicker. If disaster strikes, like a site hack or a meltdown, they jump in immediately. Obviously, here at Business Brain, we are no strangers to having disaster strike. I think maybe that's what qualifies us the most to talk about this as frequently as we do. Shannon, you had disaster strike, and Eversight helped.
Yeah, man, they were great, and they got me back up and running quickly. I self-managed my sites for a while, and for basic stuff. But as you start expanding and adding all kinds of bells and whistles and so-called safe plugins, some bad things can happen, which happened to me. And they're awesome, great to work with. And now when I need a modification or something done real quick, they're just an email away, and it works really great.
Oh, amazing! I love to hear that. That's great. That's what so many folks like us need is that sort of delegate and not forget about it, but stop worrying. You're delegating the worry of it to someone else. Yeah, that's great. You can delegate your worry too at eversight.com/bb and get started today. And our thanks to Eversight for sponsoring this episode. So my daughter is going to be getting married next year.
Okay, congratulations.
And thanks. Yeah. Well, we're not through it yet.
I'll take that back.
No, it's it's going to be great. Yeah. And but we're contracts for things are coming in, the venue and all this other stuff. And she already uses ChatGPT to analyze all this stuff. She was having a problem. ChatGPT today would not. It wouldn't let her upload a file. It was like, temporarily, we can't do this. I'm like, well, that's stupid. So I took the contract and uploaded it, and it worked totally fine for me. So who knows, right? Whatever. And so I had it analyze the contract from the venue. Now, I had already read the contract. It was very short, 2 pages. I think for most things any of us do, if the contract is longer than 2 or 3 pages, that's a red flag. And if it's if you're the one sending it out, that's also a red flag. So be aware of that. So this one was 2 pages, very simple, very clear. I read through it. I was like, okay, fine. It locks you in more than you want to be locked in, but that's what it's I kind of knew that, but then that's where my bias almost caught me. And so I ran it by ChatGPT and I said, just, analyze this contract for me. And I think that's about all I said to it. And it came back and it caught some of the things. It's like, look, these deposits, things that you put down are non-refundable. There's no way to get around it. And then it highlighted the force majeure clause that they had in there, which I basically did gloss over. It was like, oh yeah, if something happens, whatever. Well, this was a pretty one-sided force majeure clause. It was, if anything happens, act of God, yada, 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 the event will go on as planned unless there is a state-declared emergency, in which case the event will be rescheduled and you will still hold it here and all of that. And ChatGPT was like, just make sure that you're okay with this. And the more I thought about it, I was like, well, like, I don't know. I think that's pretty one-sided. So I asked it, I asked it, would you draft a counter, clause? But I said, let's keep this productive. We want this whole thing. We want everybody. We need everybody protected, happy, but we want everybody happy all the way through.
You don't want to have the event at a place where they're already
they hate me.
Yes,
right.
You don't want that.
Exactly. No, and so it did. It came up with a thing, and it basically rewrote it, and it said it took the state declared emergency language out and just replaced it with circumstances beyond either party's control, including but not limited to natural disasters. Right? Okay, great. Now we're a little looser here.
Yes.
And what it put in there, and I was really happy. It took my instructions properly. It did not come back with some equally one-sided just on the other side.
Yes,
right. Because that's not, I don't like negotiating.
That's
what your attorney does. And I even told it, when it came up with the first version, I said, now write it like I wrote it, not like an attorney wrote it. And it said, and it came back and it basically said, if it makes it impossible to fulfill the terms of this agreement, neither party will be held liable. That means if their venue falls apart, they don't need to pay for the band and the wedding dress that I can now not use at their venue.
Yes.
Right. And also it threw in there, it said the first deposit, which is just a few $1,000s or something, is theirs to keep. The rest of it is all going to be refunded. Oh, it put another thing in there that said both parties will make a good faith effort to reschedule the event.
Yeah, that's
but
great.
if that isn't feasible, then you keep the first little deposit and then the rest of it is ours. Now, they haven't agreed to this yet, mind you.
Yes.
But
most places are not used to people redlining or offering. They're not. But
I know. But
I agree.
But like, I'm going to try. And so it was like, now help me write the email. I wrote the email to send this, and then I fed that into ChatGPT. And I said, now help me distill this down, make it clearer. And it was like, great. Yep, you're doing good. But here's some things I recommend. And all of the things were like, oh, yeah, that's a great thing.
That's good. That's
it's
helpful.
just something to catch me.
Yeah,
when
and to get you to think a little bit
differently.
Deeper. Yeah.
But the whole thing, at least, and again, like we talked about in Wednesday's episode, we don't get to decide what mood someone's in when they receive our email or our text or any of that. But the whole thing was as smooth as I could have made it. In fact, it was smoother than I could have made it because it made it smoother for me and kept it really positive. And we're looking forward to a day. And it was even, I asked at the end of it, at the end of the email, it was something, actually, I'll find that, would something like this work for y'all as a replacement for this first paragraph?
That's great. Yeah.
It gives them the opportunity to say no.
Yeah.
And that's going to bring up a conversation because
that's it. Yeah.
Yep.
Why?
Why is this a no? I just need to understand. For me, I've done a lot of events over the years, and I sort of implied that in the thing. It's like, this seems non-standard for events that I've done. To just show them that I'm not coming back with something. Because I even asked ChatGPT. I said,
"That's weird.
Is this boilerplate for a wedding venue?" And it was like, not really. No, this is a little one-sided. I'm like, great. Then now we've got something to stand on here.
Yeah, I do the same thing. There's not an agreement, prospective agreement, a contract, a lease, whatever that I always run it through. And one part of the prompts that I use each time is I ask it to identify anything that's not standard.
That's
because,
the key.
You can just get the standardized lease, a standardized sale agreement, all that stuff that is just general terms and everybody pretty much agrees to these things.
Yep.
But and like my son is moving and he's getting a lease. So I said, hey, there's 5 early 20s young men that are renting this place. Here's the lease. Is there anything that they've asked me to take a look at the lease, anything that I need to be, and it was pretty much standard, but it said, make sure they understand what jointly and severally, and maybe I'm not saying that right.
Severally, yes.
Severally liable means. And I was like, oh, yeah. And we had a conversation with my son. Is everyone signing the lease? Yes. Or their own lease? Yes. So, well, if they don't pay the rent, you're liable. And if you don't pay the rent, they're liable. So he's like, what? How does that work? Here's how it works. So
here's how it works.
It was great. Yeah. It was, even though that is a standard,
totally
it pointed out because I said, oh, these are younger,
inexperienced,
young men. I want to say kids every time that haven't leased very many properties, and I'm not signing it, so they are. So it's not me.
Right.
And so it was great.
That's great.
Very, very useful, and you just play with it, and it's just so helpful. It's incredible.
Yeah, I think the part that I'd like to reiterate is not. It's great to have it review the contract. And the idea of proposing a way to communicate the changes that keeps everybody, at least on the surface, like this is confrontational. I am coming back and saying, you're wrong. Yes. I want to do it my way, right? And so I know that it is confrontational. Yep. Okay, well, there's a contract involved. That's it's kind of part and parcel. It's fine.
You know, in my brain, with that way you're handling it, you're using persuasion. You're trying to speak in a certain way. You're getting up and walking around and trying to sit next to them at the negotiation table.
I'm doing my best at that while simultaneously representing my interests. Right.
Yeah. But you want them, hopefully, that's the way they're going to take it, especially with your language, you know, using the word y'all. And does this sound like it might be something? Instead of, you know, being very...
This must be the way.
Yeah. No, because they don't have to rent the venue to you, and then your daughter's going to be mad.
And then everybody's
like,
pissed at me.
This is where we wanted to get married. Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. Believe me, I have torpedoed things long before I ever even realized that the chamber was loaded. Like, you know. Just by
I get frustrated with unreasonable people when I like to think of myself as very reasonable and I want to make it work, right?
Yes.
But then you read something, you're like, well, this is just BS. They don't need to say this, and we're not going to do that. I'm like, we're not doing this, you know. And then you see everybody around you like, what?
What? How come he's asking that question? Well, let me tell you why I'm asking the question. That's all.
Maybe it's because we've been on the other end where it became problematic. And we were either saved by the way certain language was, or it came up and like, oh, wow, I didn't know that's what that meant.
That's what that meant. Well, and that's what I said to my daughter. I said, look, I'm happy to present this to them if you would like to. And if you want to tell me not to, let's have that conversation. And I said, but here's the scenario that I need to make sure we avoid. And that is that for more than half of the people that are coming, this is a destination wedding, even though it's happening in New Hampshire, right? You know, so we're going to have the people here staying in hotels.
It's a big deal.
You're going to, you know.
It's a big deal.
You've already bought a dress. You've already got a band. Everybody's here. If suddenly their plumbing doesn't work and they say, oh, we need to reschedule as per the contract, it's like, no, we're having the wedding on that day. If you can't host us, we're going to do it at worst in my backyard, right? Like, I mean,
you're right.
It's going to happen, and now I got to pay for a party at your venue at some day when your plumbing works.
No.
I agree with you. No. Yep. No. If your plumbing doesn't work that day, then we can't do the event that day at your place. Right.
That's right.
That's all.
Or you're not bringing in a trailer with water and toilets or whatever.
You can choose to fix this.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
We're all working together, not just you get to pull the plug and I have no say in the matter. No. Nope. And that'll be the example. I haven't told them that example yet, but if they push back, we'll get on the phone. Like, we're done with I will not send another email.
Yeah, sometimes you have to have that conversation
on this. But it's like, let's get on the phone and let's talk it through. Let me share my concern with you and why I'm asking for this, and we can talk it out. Yeah,
that's right.
And now it might come down in the end to, well, we don't alter our agreement.
Could be.
And you take it or leave it,
You can
buddy.
decide. Yeah,
and then we get to decide.
Yeah, then
that's
you
right.
decide. Yeah.
That's right.
And there's tears.
And
there's,
that's what the day we buy wedding insurance.
That's true. Yeah, that's good.
It'll cost us a few $100s and then it's done. That's fine.
That's great.
Yeah. Which we'll probably buy anyway.
Yeah, that's right. If you have either new AI that we should know about or methods that you're using existing AI, we would love to hear about it because we're always looking. You know, we're trying to expand our brains here on Business Brain, and you can send that to feedback@businessbrain.show. We would love to hear from you.
We would love to hear it. Yeah, every day that I learn about something new with AI is a good day. So please help us out. Feedback@businessbrain.show. Have a great weekend. Keep living that charmed life, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.
And we're out.
Awesome. Thank you for listening in to the live stream. We've been here for about an hour, and there's about 400 or so of you. So we're going to say goodbye. Those episodes will come out if you want to listen to them again, or if you're in your car or you missed something. Wednesday the 30th and Friday the 1st, August 1st, coming up.
Yeah,
be here before you know it. The end of the year, we'll be here. When's Q4? Is that September, October?
October.
Yeah.
I know. No, Q4 is October, November, December.
That's right.
Yeah,
October, December. Yeah. It'll be here quick.
It will.
It'll be here quick. Yeah. Yes. And we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for hanging out.
Later.